Treaty of Sevres. A post-World War I treaty between the victorious Allied powers and representatives of the government of Ottoman Turkey. The treaty established an independent Armenia and an autonomous Kurdistan. It has enabled the Greek presence in eastern Thrace and the west coast of Anatolia. It also gave the Greeks control over the Aegean Isles, thus commanding the Dardanelles. However, the Treaty of Sevres was soon forgotten in the West, leaving only a bad legacy to Turkey. It gradually provoked a series of negative emotions, which reached the point of paranoia, and which were collectively known as Sevres Syndrome, i.e. Sevres Syndrome. It was actually a popular belief that external forces, particularly the West, were conspiring against Turkey to dismantle it. This is not something which has been forgotten, since even today there are many in Turkey, even in the upper classes, who believe in it. In fact, recent developments heighten Turkey's fears of partition, raising the burning question, who plans to divide Turkey? In other words, the old fear comes back, that they are outsiders and conquerors in the place where they now live. It is indeed their greatest horror that the time of their persecution approaches. The traumatic experience of the Asia Minor campaign is coming back. It was during these campaign days that they believed briefly that they had come to an end, as conquerors of the West. They believe now they are again surrounded by enemies, who are trying to destroy the Turkish state. Their foreign policy was also affected by the syndrome, as shown by the ongoing Islamist announcements in the Kurdish conflicts and the unprecedented Turkish arbitrariness in the European negotiations. But the damage done by the syndrome of Sevres in the psychosynthesis of the Turkish people was not the only one. Christian prophecies, in particular of Agios Pagios, caused major problems. In particular, he prophesied of Constantinople, causing turmoil among the Turks. The famous Yunanlar Istanbul Hayali, meaning the Greek dream of Constantinople, represents their greatest fear, and even worse, they begin to believe that the countdown has already begun. They do not forget, of course, that Father Pagios is a real child of Anatolia, and actually of Cappadocia. That is why they give a lot of attention to what he prophesied. However, it is not just these prophecies that have shaken them for good. They also have their own prophecies, which are widespread amongst them. According to them, Constantinople will be recaptured by the royal family of the Romans. The Turks called the Greeks Romans, since the original name of Constantinople was New Rome, and the Greeks royal race. Indeed, Mustafa Kemal himself, the father of the Turks, feared the fulfillment of Turkey's prophecy. This is why he moved the capital to Ankara, so it would be the new capital of Turkey apart from the cannon mouth of the Greeks. The influence of prophecy is evident among the most devout Turkish Muslims in Istanbul. They teach their children when they die to bury them in Scutari, situated on the Asiatic side of the city. They instruct so because they believe that this side will never be conquered by the Greeks, thus always remaining Turkish. Thus the Sevres Syndrome hurt the Turks not only by foreign prophecies, but because it was reinforced by their own prophecies. Finally, in our attempt to explain the effects of the Treaty of Sevres on Turkish psychosynthesis, we state that the treaty was accepted by the Ottoman Empire by Sultan Mehmet VI, but was rejected by the independent Neo-Turkish movement led by Kemal. And precisely this historical fact guides the developments of today. It is exactly the old Ottoman events that guide Erdogan's behavior. His behavior is better explained if examined more carefully through their own Islamist way of thinking. It is not at all strange, but it is very well organized and well developed. Now we can finally explain Erdogan's stand against the Treaty of Lausanne, which the Neo-Turkish of Kemal used to rise to power. The current president of Turkey, who regards himself as the successor of Sultan Mehmet VI, believes that he has an obligation to continue his work. Also believes that in the first phase, he must cancel the work of his Kemalist opponents. As the second phase, he must also annul the Treaty of Lausanne, and hypocritically accept the Treaty of Sevres just as Sultan Mehmet VI had done. Immediately reconsider through negotiation and a stronger position, as he believes, the new Ottoman Empire. Many conquerors came to Europe over the centuries. However, only those who respected the enslaved peoples and contributed at the same time to the creation of a better future remained. The Turks do not belong to this type of conquerors. In ongoing conflicts with European peoples and specifically against their culture, they have proved that they can neither integrate nor offer anything new. The time has come for them to go back to where they came from the depths of Asia.